Hey guys, I'm Carl van Dufflin, Senior Account Executive for the Benelux region at Navis. We're at Geospatial World Forum and we've run into Rob Goldsmith from the Devon and Cornwall Police. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good.
So I think it's really interesting kind of chatting to you. We're seeing a lot of use cases with AEC, oil and gas, scan to BIM. But chatting to you, I think, has been really enlightening. Just hearing about your use case. We spoke earlier about the G7 Summit. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the reason we're here today is that we've been nominated for an award for the work we did, which used the Navis equipment for the G7. We bought the kit in 2021 and we used it primarily to map out all of our key venues so that people coming into the area could fully understand where they were going to be when they got here. But then also the second case really was to be able to have that any critical incident covered so that we had all of those venues mapped and ready to go.
Incredible. So how many venues did you map in total? How many, did you have a square footage count that you actually did?
Yeah, so I think one of the venues, certainly the castle, was around 110,000 square feet, I think it was. And then another one was about half of that. And then we did individual properties. So even on the castle premises, we probably had 20, 30 separate venues on site with that at any time.
Incredible. So yeah, just in terms of Ivion, how are you guys using Ivion to actually kind of prepare for the G7 Summit?
Yeah, so what we were looking for during the G7 was a way to share this data out to people without having to run into the troubles that you would get with your local IT, the infrastructure installing software. So being able to have a web-based platform allowed us to go out to those other forces and our kind of critical partners and say, look, you can jump straight in and use this. You can have it on your phone, your tablet, your laptop. So we managed to get that straight out, and it helped get the process through and the kit purchased because we were able to say that we could deliver it in a swift manner.
Incredible. And a little bit now, kind of what are you using the system for now? Like you've got the VLX, G7 is obviously over. What are you guys using that equipment for now?
Yeah, so again, we've got a couple of different sort of use cases. One of them certainly is to go around and look at our critical infrastructure and have them all mapped so that should an incident occur, we've already got that data ready to go. We're tagging defibrillators, we're tagging cameras, we're tagging entry points, exit points, everything that might come up that someone could do a search for. We're going around airports, we're even picking up transport, aeroplanes, trains, anything we can get aboard. So should there be a critical incident on a vehicle, on a plane, we already know exactly how it's going to look and we can start measuring up and getting that ready before that would come into land perhaps.
Incredible. I think it's definitely one of the most interesting use cases. I mean, I've kind of followed, I'm a big true crime junkie. And I've really followed kind of forensics and 3D laser scanning in forensics, but I've never really seen it in kind of planning for, the worst case scenario. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really such an interesting use case. In terms of kind of where you see this kit going, what features do you think would kind of supplement your use case?
So I think probably the biggest difficulty we have with getting this live was obviously the online processing with people's information and people's data, and being able to go to our information assurance managers and tell them that we can start blurring faces out, we can start blurring out names, registration plates, and take away all of those problems you'd have with collecting personal data around people. That's certainly what we'd like to see.
Okay, well, good news for you. So yeah, about 2 weeks ago, we released the person blurring feature in Navis Ivion. It's literally just a simple click and go. So you select person blurring. It's going to go through all of your panos and automatically blur. So we're definitely getting closer to that kind of really focusing on privacy and obviously GDPR compliance. So that's something that I'll actually show you after this. But yeah, really happy with how that's going. What do you think's next for you guys?
So I think the way geo's moving at the moment, and what I'd really like to see is if we're geo-referencing all of our data, our point clouds, everything like this, what would be great is if officers could go to that scene with glasses, with a tablet, with a phone, hold it up to a building where we got an incident going on, and see all of that information that we've geo-referenced on that building, whether it's who's going to be in there, whether it's where's the entry points, the exits, how big are the windows, everything that we could capture in that sort of digital twin should be available, I think, being geo-referenced to go onto software and be live for officers actually down there. What we want to get away from perhaps is them having to log into force systems, to our computers and so on, but having that live and that available. And again, if we could bring that into a system where we could have the live positions of our officers and we could tag where rendezvous points are and so on, I think that's what I'd see the future being.
Amazing. So developers, are you listening? Anyway, but thanks a lot for joining us, Rob. Really appreciate you chatting to us and spending time with us at the booth. I'm about to show you some people blurring. But have a great show.